everybody, welcome back to Video Game Esoterica and our continuing season on the Sega Saturn. And today we're taking a look at Castlevania, Symphony of the Night, or as it's more well known in Japan, Nocturne in the Moonlight. And we're going to be playing as Maria because she is a Sega Saturn exclusive character and something that wasn't in the PlayStation 1 version. And I would definitely say it's an easy mode for playing as her because she's definitely overpowered, but I figured since most playthroughs are either Alucard or Richter, we'd show you guys something a little bit different. Now this game takes a lot of flack, and some of it's deserved, some of it I don't think as much, because the Sega Saturn was such a powerful 2D console. It's unfortunate that a little bit of a lazy conversion of the PlayStation 1 original gives us a product that is definitely inferior, but not as much as people would make you think it is. Yes, there's definitely some slowdown in areas where the PlayStation 1 handled it perfectly fine, and the loading times have been increased, but they're not so bad that it makes you not want to play the game. Because what this game does have, outside of this amazing remix track right here, which I wish I could let you listen to, but it'll definitely throw the copyright filter on YouTube off, is it has extra areas of Dracula's castle. Now, are they as good as the original areas in the game? That's up for debate. I definitely like them, and any more Symphony of the Night I can get, I definitely want to enjoy. But it's a more fully featured package. Now, it is unfortunate that there are those technical issues. Like I said, there's definite slowdown. All of the transparencies are gone on the Sega Saturn because while it could handle it, most developers didn't know how to code for it. And like I said, the loading times are in areas where, unfortunately, the original game didn't have those loading times. But everything it brings to the table additionally kind of makes it my preferred version of the game. Now the artwork is slightly off because the Sega Saturn has a different resolution, so they basically just stretched each pixel. Now I can't really notice it unless I look at it side by side, and it's definitely not something that I think affects the game whatsoever, but if you're a pixel purist, you might not love it. But it's the Castlevania Symphony of the Night you know and love, just with more going on in it. Like I said, Maria playable here, definitely not something you got in the original game, and it's fun just to be able to play the game in a new method. And then you still definitely have all of the base game available, and this is hands down my favorite Castlevania of all time, and I would argue the best Castlevania game ever made. So getting more of it on the Saturn is just definitely a benefit. Now weirdly, it was never released in the US, and I think that's just because this game came out in Japan in 1998, and at that point in time the Dreamcast was coming so soon, and the Saturn was basically end of life. It makes sense why it didn't get ported over to, a North American or European console, and now you'll see that loading time there, not originally in the PlayStation 1 version, but it's unfortunate we didn't get the game in North America because it'd be great to be able to play it in English. Now I've played this game so many times before, I definitely can beat it all the way through just by memory. And if you've never played before, some of the item descriptions, things you're going to need to progress past the bad ending, are going to be a little bit hard to understand, but there's 101 walkthroughs for this game on the internet, so it's definitely not something that you're going to struggle with too much. You just need to be able to be good at Googling information. But if you play the PlayStation 1 version and you want to check out more Symphony of the Night, and you want to get a couple extra areas, a couple extra new enemies and weapons, I definitely recommend it. The game's not cheap, and I mean, I got mine a long time ago, and I think I paid $50 for it, but it's definitely going to be an over $100 game right now. But if you're a huge Castlevania fan and you want to check out more of the game, then I definitely do recommend it something you add to your collection, because even if the load times are longer, even if the graphics are slightly skewed, even if there's some slight slowdown, it's still the game you know and love, and while it's not the best conversion, it's definitely 100% worth having if you're a Castlevania fan. And that's why I added this game to the playlist, because all the other games are exclusive to the Saturn, but this obviously was a PlayStation 1 game first. But this is, to me, the definitive version of it, even if we look past those technical flaws, because having more of this game is just something I definitely want. And you'll see here now we're in the Cursed Prison, and that's going to be a new area of the game. You get these sprite-based ghost enemies, and they actually do have a little bit of transparency, so you can see the game does use transparency in some spots, and I think that was just when the designers at Konami, the coders, made new enemies, they were able to incorporate the Saturn hardware better than when they were using the PlayStation 1 assets. So it is proof that you can see transparencies are possible on the Saturn. We've shown that before, but even in this game where it's always references having the transparencies taken out, you can see they're still in here. But this is definitely a late stage area of the game, and you're going to see I'm just going to get juggled like crazy. So just like the original PlayStation 1 version, there's some areas of the castle that you definitely don't want to go into until you're ready. And you can see we've hit the front entrance, and like everything else in Symphony of the Night, there's some switches you can throw to be able to make this area more accessible as you go on. So it definitely incorporates itself well into the map, and like I said, it is a quite hard area, something that you don't want to come into too early, because you will see here, I've taken my first death. And I hadn't remembered to save, so to get this footage, I had to play through from the beginning again. That was my fault, but just a fun little aside fact. And you even get the same PlayStation 1 game over screen, and I just love that kind of voice acting there. But it's an awesome game. I love it. It's one of my favorite games of all time, and if the Saturn version is slightly inferior, graphics-wise or loading-wise, I can look past that, because honestly, most games from this generation aren't great at loading. The PlayStation 1 version of this game definitely had loading. It wasn't as bad, but I can definitely just handle it. Now, the one most frustrating part I will say about this game is that if you're using any sort of upscaler like a FrameMeister or an OpenScore scan converter, the map screen is in a different resolution than the rest of the game. So resolution switching does occur, and on the FrameMeister it takes like 3 to 4 seconds for that sync signal to be picked back up, so it can definitely be more of a trying experience if you're using an upscaler. But if you're using a PVM, which I also have, or even a CRT, there's going to be absolutely zero issue whatsoever. And now here you're going to see we're going to go into the doppelganger fight, but of course it's going to be a little bit different because we're using Maria, not the actual original character Alucard that you would have come in here with, so you're going to fight Alucard anyway. But I'll let you watch the fight, I'll let you listen to a little bit of the music, hear the quality of it. If you played this game before, you'll be familiar with it, but I'll come back in just a minute, now that we've beaten Alucard, and I will close out the video on Nocturne in the Moonlight. But enjoy! Alright, so I think I'm just going to keep talking because I've tried to upload this video 3 times now, and each time I do, a copyright flag goes up on any snippet of music I'm not talking over, so you're just going to have to enjoy a little bit more of my lovely voice. But as far as this game is concerned, it is an absolutely amazing experience. If you like Castlevania, if you like Metroidvania style games, and for some reason you have not played this game yet, you absolutely have to, because this is just amazing. You'll see there's no little transparency on our skull buddy, and it doesn't look as good as a PlayStation 1 version, but honestly, it's just, to me, it's something you can look past, because I don't really care that much. The game isn't broken, it's just a little less impressive than the PlayStation 1 version, but considering we get another playable character, we get more stages to explore, we get more weapons and items, and that to me is worth everything, and that's why I can't highly recommend this game enough, even if it is an import Sega Saturn game. If I'm going to recommend you play Symphony of the Night, and you can play it on a Saturn, by all means I definitely think you should do so. And just kind of ignore what the internet says, because of course it's the internet, and people love to have giant opinions on things, and they will say this game is garbage, you shouldn't play it. I mean, some things are weird, like there, you would get an item if you were playing as Alucard, and you can beat that boss, and you just end up getting a heart and a life up. And they're not really fundamental things, so there's definitely, the game is designed to play as Alucard, and in your playthrough of this on the Saturn, it works perfectly fine, and you just get extra areas. I just felt like playing Maria to show you guys something new, and I love these little things that Konami coded in there. You push that box up against the water, and all those knight armors, they just end up exploding in water. I mean, I don't know how they turned into fire, but that's neither here nor there. But it's definitely an awesome game, and if you have a Saturn and can play it, you 100% should. And I kind of wish Konami would just start giving us some more Castlevania games. Nothing in like that 3D beat-em-up style. I wish we could just get another proper original 2D Castlevania game with that Metroidvania theme, because this is still the game I come back to if I want to play Castlevania, and it's 2020, and I feel like outside of, Bloodstained not actually being a Castlevania game but feeling like one, I think the franchise definitely could come back, because there's a huge amount of fans for it, and it's just unfortunate that just like death here, Konami has killed another franchise. But that's Nocturne in the Moonlight, a game I 100% recommend you guys pick up and play if you have the chance. If you love the PlayStation 1 original, you're just going to get extra content and extra levels, and just ignore the little bit of extra loading and lack of transparencies, and I think you'll be fine. But we will be back next week with another episode in our mainline Saturn series, and we'll have episodes on other things on Friday and Sunday as well. But thanks so much for watching. It definitely takes us a lot of time and energy to make each one of these videos, so if you could do us a huge favor, hit like and subscribe and ring the notification bell. Definitely helps us out. out. Otherwise, we hope you enjoy this video and have a great rest of your week. We'll see you on Friday, Sunday, and back on Tuesday with an episode in the Sega Saturn. Otherwise, hopefully you don't have to take a ride with death today. Bye-bye.